Yeah, man. I think TikTok actually does have a lot of value right now. They're really pushing instructional content, and the instructions can be anything from 15 seconds to 60 seconds, and it's really quick. And you basically use it almost like as like a lead magnet, almost to like more in-depth content. So you can use that. It's super entertaining, so people will watch it. And I mean, you might not get like 1 million views, but the amount of views on TikTok is so much higher than Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. So let's back up real quick. Since we didn't do a formal introduction or anything, James, you want to like kick this show off? We were just bullshitting right when you came.
Well, we can hijack. So we'll use this for today's good stuff. But so earlier, Dan was talking about TikTok and just kind of out of the blue went kind of dove headfirst into it and kind of threw us off for a loop. And so now we're here kind of talking about just to understand better what TikTok is or how it can apply for a business. I think a lot of us are kind of missing that idea if we're not on the leading edge of this, right? Yeah. And so hopefully kind of we can kind of put some truth behind some misconceptions about TikTok.
Or at least, yeah, let's talk through it, right? Because I've been on it for all of like 3 hours now, over 3 days. So
you're a pro.
I'm a pro.
You're a pro for sure.
And I've been watching all of Forrest's shit. I just followed him on TikTok. Yeah. But
thanks, man.
I'm gonna tell you like my takeaway from this. One, I always assumed, and everyone says and repeats, oh, TikTok's is just for the 8-year-olds or 14-year-olds or whatever. It's not my market. I don't agree with that anymore. And I also, my preconceived notion was it was a bunch of mindless shit of people like doing stupid dance challenges and stuff, which it is in some degrees. But like Forrest said, when he first jumped on, I've personally started following gardening. I don't know, like I'm trying to grow an herb garden. I was explaining to Fuse when we started, but I started watching some of these videos on people like, oh, how to use your hair to like stimulate nitrogen in your soil, and like all these instructional videos on how to do gardening. And now I get a whole bunch of those, and they're hella good. Like they're like when you make hard-boiled eggs, if you take the hard-boiled egg water and put it in your plants, it helps them grow. You know, just shit like that. That I'm like, dude, this is such good stuff, and it's entertaining, and it's in. The other big thing is I don't have time to watch a 5-minute video on how to like grow plants. I'm too distracted all day long. But on TikTok, it's like 30 seconds in and out, super entertaining, super quick, and super informational. And it's huge. So,
but that's what I think the challenge is a lot of us don't know how to condense things down into really small, bite-sized, consumable TikTok type stuff. I mean, like,
so we got Forrest here to talk about that, because my theory is their editing tool helps you do that. Because I'm watching all these videos and I'm like, how are these normal people making such entertaining videos? And yes, they probably have spent some time getting better at it, but I think their editing tools help you make it entertaining. Is that correct, Forrest?
Absolutely, dude. So just to back up a little bit, like Dan, you know that I've taken somewhat of a hiatus from my personal social media, right? I mean,
this guy is not a social media in the last 5 years. He's been gone.
Yeah, literally the last 5 years, no Facebook, no personal Instagram, and not on TikTok. Now, in the last probably 5 months, I've gone on all 3 of them, all 3 platforms. So the 3 platforms, basically, I've figured out why they exist and how they're different. But like TikTok, for example, it's like trending skits. So think about like, instead of like, you know, Instagram selfies and, you know, like kind of still pictures and really quick scrolling, with TikTok, it's basically more like trending skits. So let's say like a trending skit is no talking, basically going along with music and pointing to different like tips. Like, these are 3 tips. And if you want, here's a link to my Instagram or my YouTube channel that will go more in depth on a video like this. And it's not people that are in your immediate circle. So Instagram, you have to follow people. TikTok their algorithm will basically feed you stuff that you like. So if Dan likes gardening, it's going to feed him a ton of gardening things that I don't know how it works.
Can we
but
restart this whole video and say Dan likes working out? Can there be a workout video? I fucked up.
So Dan started, but no, it happens. It happens like that, and it's super entertaining. And I got on it like maybe 6-7 months ago, and I was like, man, it's just a bunch of like 13-year-old kids dancing, and I obviously it's just like this is stupid. But now, especially in the last like probably 3 months, there's a lot more 30-somethings, 40-somethings, 50-somethings, and even like the 20-somethings are putting out quality content of like, you can find investing information on there. You can find entrepreneurial stuff. You can find CrossFit stuff.
I think it's the hugest untapped platform right now after being on it for all of 3 hours.
Absolutely. And if the least you use it for is like video editing to post to Instagram, then do that. That's basically what I started off doing.
That's a good hack.
Yeah. So I think the big opportunity, I think there's a huge opportunity for CrossFit gyms here, because you can come up with you can get in front of your local audience, like you said, without being connected to them. Your gym, what's going on in your gym, how much fun people are having, just like fun, meme, 30-second type stuff. You could be posting workouts for your community. There's so much stuff for gym owners to be putting out to their community that, I see this come up every once a month in forums like, oh, do you use TikTok? And it's like, everyone's like, oh, no, it's a bunch of 14-year-olds. They're never going to come to my gym anyway, so why would I do that? But I think it's important to remember Facebook, when it started, was for 18-year-olds. Like it wasn't for adults. And all the kids left because the adults came, right?
So I think the challenge from, I think, a business side is, anytime you do something, you're always looking for, typically you're looking for some kind of ROI on it. And it's hard to understand where that is in our limited knowledge of what TikTok is and how that can affect that.
Right.
But I think some of the questions are like, what did your first, maybe like month on TikTok look like? Like, what kind of stuff were you doing? How were you able to kind of morph it and grow into a very entertaining, very kind of identifiable, like I'm going to follow Forrest because his stuff just looks really cool. Like, it's just always easy to watch, easy to consume. Like, I don't know you, but I'm like, I know your living room is all lit up.
First of all, I am no TikTok expert, and I've only really been on it, for a little while. There's some people on there that have like millions of followers, millions of views, all this crazy shit. But first of all, it's like, what does your first month look like? It honestly looks like you looking at a bunch of videos. Trying to figure out like what is this?
You have to understand the game.
I see all
first,
these people, where it's like, there's that like Carol Baskin killed her husband. You've heard that, right? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
And there's like all these dances that kind of trend. You want to figure out what the trends are and what kind of content people are putting out. And obviously there's like the dance ones, and there's dog ones, and obviously gardening ones for you, Dan, since you love gardening. But you want to figure out, is it, should I put out a minute long? Should I put out 15 seconds? Should I put out 30 seconds? Should I talk? Should I do like text that disappears? Should I do quick cuts? Because it's basically like you can take audio from anybody's video, take that audio, and then make your own video with that same audio. So you could basically like lip sync to it. You can, and then what you can do is you piggyback off of somebody else's success. So like if I wanted to do, found somebody that had 10,000 views on somebody's video, which isn't that much on TikTok, I would take their audio, or I could duet. So like somebody, let's say Dan is doing a video on gym software, right? And he's talking about 3 reasons why gym software makes a difference. And I could go on right next to him, and basically he's saying number 1, and I could just literally just shake my head and be like, yep, I agree. Number 2, oh, definitely agree. And number 3, yep, he's right. And have 20,000 views of that, right? And that is like a trend on, like, it's called a duet on TikTok. And there's just trends. It's just like your first month is literally just like, what is this platform? Because it's not Instagram and it's not Facebook.
Yeah.
And then start to like stuff. So like if you have something that you like, fitness, gardening, or whatever, the it'll start to feed you things. It takes out all the 13-year-olds and it starts to feed you people more in your demographic.
Yeah.
So you start to see more stuff. And then I would say just start posting, because nobody that you really know is following you anyway. So just start posting stuff and trying it out and learning the video editing on the app.
Hey, question real quick. When you first got into TikTok, what was the reason for doing it? Did you just kind of get in there just to pass the time, or was it, I'm going to eventually build something that I can call my own to help support my brand, or my presence or something like that? Was it more of a business move, or is it a personal thing?
It was more of a personal thing because I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was pretty entertaining. But then anything that's entertaining, you start to ask yourself, how can I adapt this for business, right?
Exactly what happened to me, yeah.
Yeah, you start to like something, you're like, man, this is actually kind of interesting. How could I leverage this, right? Yeah. And that's basically what I did. But yeah, I didn't have the intent of being like, I'm going to make a shit ton of money on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys are wondering, Gary Vee last August was basically like, everyone's sleeping on TikTok. Every minute you haven't started trying to figure out how to use this for your business, the cost of doing so is going to go up for you. I mean, Gary Vee's always been big on like, jump on the new platform that's emerging, because it's tremendously cheap to get influence and eyeballs and attention in the early days, and it becomes really expensive later.
Yeah, and you can use it. You can use it as a video editor, put it to Instagram, right? That you can actually drive traffic on. Like, you can do paid ads, you can do things like that. And if something hits, just run paid ads on that one TikTok video that you made. I'm not really quite sure how to advertise on TikTok yet or do any of that kind of thing, but it is great for making content. And if you look at it for long enough and then you go back to Instagram, you're like, ooh, this is like not really entertaining.
So that's what I was saying this morning to my team. I'm like, I think Instagram's dead now, because it's so boring.
Everyone shut them down. Everyone
was like, everyone just shot me down. And I'm like, y'all just ain't on it yet, because
these gardening videos, man.
Because dude, TikTok gives me so much value and it's so entertaining, and Instagram's a picture. You know what I mean? Or it's someone's
a selfie. It's like, check us out. And it's like there's no value really.
Yeah. Yeah. I fully believe like Instagram will have its place, and it'll be like food pictures and nature pictures and stuff. But TikTok, I'm so bullish on it right now.
And most of the stuff that you see on Instagram right now is from TikTok. The stuff that's like, ooh, that's hilarious.
That's how I found TikTok.
That is true.
I kept getting hit with TikToks on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm like, these are fun. Like, what is going on over here? And that's why I went there. So, yeah.
The other question I had for Forrest was, like, do you create content specific to TikTok? And like, does that screw your day up a little bit? Because I know a lot of, especially if we're talking to just gym owners and business owners, you have to clean every other hour now. Like, there's so many other things you have to deal with. The last thing you want to do is throw another thing on top that you have to kind of baby and grow into something and be on your daily task. Like, is it now like something that you have to devote time for, or something that or you've learned how to organically just include in your day?
Honestly, you just TikTok's not one of those things. So like, for example, Instagram is one of those things that rewards you for posting, right? So it's like, you should post 3 times a day. You should post X amount of times a day, do the stories, do this really quick, like unedited kind of deal. And a lot of it, we want more and more content. TikTok's not really like that, right? So if it's like, you can get one TikTok skit out in like every few days, that's pretty good. So quality over quantity on TikTok. And honestly, it's like, I'll hop on the assault bike. I'll go for like 30 minutes on the assault bike, and I'll get an idea of like, ooh, that would actually be pretty funny.
Just when you're delusional.
Like, yeah.
There's no more oxygen in your head.
Like, the other day I did one with like, it was like an Avengers one where it's like, that was dope. I got a hammer. Yeah. And I was like, I've seen that before on TikTok, but it was like somebody, like throwing a hammer or whatever. I'm like, how can I adapt that for the gym? How can I adapt that for CrossFit or fitness?
I think that's the simple hack right there, is just watch enough TikToks where you can see what people like and what's funny and what entertains you, and just copy it for your gym in some gym specific way. Right?
Yeah. Like the office one that I did that was like parkour.
Oh yeah.
that one, you know, and it's just, you just adapt it for your gym. And it honestly, those videos take 5 minutes to shoot and edit. It's like, it's really no time. You just have to think it out in your head and have skits kind of lined up. But yeah, so it's a little different. Obviously it's like Facebook, you want engagement. It's like more of a discussion. It's more text. And Instagram is super quick where it's like, oh, I see that they're still posting. They must still be in business, right? And it's like, you could post garbage. You could just post like a picture of somebody just jumping or squatting. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, they're still around and relevant. And I'm not going to engage on this. I might not even like it, whatever. But on TikTok, you actually, people like with the videos, like people like it. It's kind of a halfway in between, but you get eyeballs on your content for longer. Even 15 seconds is a long time, right? Compared to Instagram.
Yeah, I noticed on TikTok, I give every video a chance, like a legit 10-second, 5-second chance, you know?
That's
you don't
a
know
long
what's coming,
time on
right?
social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Instagram, you just click, next story, next story.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense because if they're valuing quality over quantity, right? It's like they're actually training you to give every video a chance.
Yes, and a lot of those videos too, that's like the best part is like the last second where you're like, boom, done. That's hilarious, right?
All right, well,
all right.
I need to re-up my TikTok account. I have one. I think I've logged in
Most
once.
people have one.
Yeah. Well, cool, man.
Thanks,
That's
Forrest.
a ton. I think we should definitely pick this up again and kind of dive a little bit deeper. But
let's just reiterate to wrap this up. If you're a gym owner, at least get on TikTok now if you haven't. Start paying attention to what's going on out there because these are your potential and future clients that are watching this stuff, and this is the trend that's happening. And I guess you can start to get that algorithm working for you by paying attention to things that are kind of fall within what you think your audience is or your particular tastes are, and get
or even like even what you like. Yeah, even what you like. Just get on there. And in the worst case scenario, use it as a video editor for your Instagram in the very early days. Just go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
sweet,
cool.
Real quick. So, what's your? Does TikTok have Instagram or
I know
TikTok
Forrest.
handles?
It's just I know Forrest. Yeah,
I know Forrest. All right, I'm gonna go follow that.
Okay.
Go like everything.
Yeah, just do whatever. I mean, honestly, get on TikTok because, like I said, it's not going to matter right now because most people don't really know who you are on there. So just find videos and just start playing around with it. You can always make stuff private or delete it later, but just get on there and start doing some stuff. You never know what'll hit.
Awesome, dude. I like it. All right, Dan, I'm in. You can wrap my schedule off for the rest of the day.
Be careful about that, man.
I'm doing research.
Hey, TikTok's 8 p.m. and on only.
Dude, you could waste an hour on TikTok. Super easy. Just scrolling through videos. You'll go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. This is where it started, guys.
Yeah.
This is where it started.
Right here. All right, guys.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for coming on for us. This is our first guest ever on the Good Stuff Daily right here. First.
Boom.
Insider.
There it is.
All right, guys. I'll see you.
Later.
Thanks, man.